I know you got 7 months left in this job. You started on the campaign. You've been going through this whole marathon with the president. I think one of the things that we're going to start to do, and lots of others, is to sort of assess this administration and say, what was the president's impact on global development? What was his legacy? And I know one of the phrases I've heard you say is people-powered development. Tell us a little bit more about that. Is that kind of the framework as you look at what the president has done in his administration?
Yeah, look, I think that what we've tried to do is put people and capacity at the center of our development assistance. So how can we invest in models that are building the capacity of other people to essentially take the baton from us, so that assistance is not just an end in and of itself. Yep. So if you look at the key development initiatives that we've had, Feed the Future is not just providing food assistance, it's trying to help farmers plan, map out how they can have more crops that can lead to a developing agricultural sector in the country, so that they're feeding more than just their own family, that they're bringing products to a market. How can we use Power Africa to leverage solutions both large but also off-grid, so that people with good ideas are getting the seed money that they need to develop potentially renewable off-grid solutions in villages, as well as providing power broadly. If you look at the Young Leaders initiatives that we have invested in, we're essentially trying to say to young people in Southeast Asia or Africa, we're going to invest in your future. We'll bring you to the United States, but we're also network you in your regions, so that people who are doing creative things in the entrepreneurship space can get to know one another and can essentially be a source of empowerment to one another. So that's been a big focus of how we've looked at development. And look, part of this, candidly, is I think given the budget environment in the United States, there's not likely to be another PEPFAR. Yeah. And even if we wanted it, we couldn't get that type of resourcing from Congress. So we have to find ways to leverage the private sector, entrepreneurs, non-governmental partners to have outcomes. But I think one model, the last one I'd cite, is the Paris Climate Agreement, because what we were able to do there is, yes, there's a green climate fund, and we're going to make our investment in that. But that ultimately is not going to be the game changer in allowing us to achieve an ongoing higher ambition for a climate reduction target. It's going to be what we're doing in trying to leverage capital to invest in new clean energy. So the fund we announced with Bill Gates and others in Paris that essentially tries to provide market-based incentives for investments in solar and other renewable types of energy. That's what is going to allow us to achieve a much greater outcome than an allocation just from the U.S. government. So we've tried to broaden that model in ways that empower people to have the solutions themselves. What we're doing is we're convening people, and then we're trying to drive resources, either from government or outside of government, to the right solutions.